Hey everyone, Tech here. Welcome back. Grab a brew, pull up a seat, and welcome to our Let's Play for Croatia on Crusader Kings 2. And I know I said that all backwards, but whatever. This is my third attempt at recording this video, I'll let you know. The first couple times, I got some things a little bit backwards, and the episodes went way too long. I wanted to try to keep this to a quick episode. As some of you may have saw in my comments, this is a bit of a special episode going to cover some of the inheritance laws on the game, to try to better explain them for those who are not real familiar or not real clear on some of them. Some of you guys are probably very knowledgeable, much more knowledgeable than me from the comments I get all the time. But I'm going to do my best to try to explain the inheritance laws so that we're all kind of on the same page, and then how they relate to the current LP that I'm playing here and some of the decisions that I'm making and haven't made in the past. So I want to try to keep this video to about 12 minutes or under. The last one I did was 25 minutes, so I deleted it and we're going again. So let's see how let's see how I do this time. Okay, first of all, and I got some notes here in front of me, so you may hear the paper, but first of all, we're going to talk about the gender laws, which should go pretty quickly. You basically have 3 different gender laws, and again, real quickly here, if you don't have annotations turned on, you may want to turn them on. It's the little chat bubble button at the bottom, because I'll probably go ahead and put some annotations up to go along with this to make it easier to follow. There's 3 different gender laws, okay? And I'm going to pronounce these wrong, so please just bear with it. You have agnatic, cognatic, you have agnatic, and then absolute cognatic. Real simply, I'm going to bust through these because it doesn't need a lot of explanation. Agnatic, cognatic means that either males or females can inherit, but a male is preferred. So that means if you have a male child and a female child, regardless of age, the male child will always be the one who inherits. So you could have a 20-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. The 5-year-old son will be the one who generally will inherit. So that's or 6-year-old, whatever. But that's just how that works. Agnatic is only males. Period. Women are completely ignored. So that's it. Absolute cognatic means that men and women are looked at equally. So if you had an older daughter, in the last scenario, if you had a 20-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son, the daughter would inherit. However, in order to have absolute cognatic, you have to have the Basque culture. So most games that you're playing in Middle East countries, European countries and whatnot, you really won't run into that very often. Most games I've played, I haven't, so but it definitely can happen. Okay, so let's move on to succession laws. On succession laws, you have 4 different succession laws. You have elective, gavelkind, seniority, and primo, because I can't pronounce the full word. Now, you'll notice here, elective is what I have for Croatia, and I've pretty much had that from the beginning. And I've had a few people kind of get even almost hostile at me with why am I still in elective or whatever. The reason I've been in elective all the way from the beginning of this LP with Dimitar and then Ash as well is that elective is very good if you're very well liked. If your vassals like you and you have everybody in the green and everybody likes you and gets along with you in your kingdom, elective is good, because if they like you, they're going to vote with you. So whoever you nominate, they're generally all going to go right along with it as long as everybody likes you. It's not guaranteed, but generally it will work out your way in most cases. So elective is good. Now, if you are a country that you have brothers who have neighboring countries, and you're split and taking over smaller countries, and different people holding if you have a lot of stuff going on, elective can really work against you because some people are going to be undermining you. So elective is really good if you have a country, a stable country, and a very well liked ruler. And so, I mean, that's the basics of it, and it does not require any crown law requirements, so you could be low, medium, high, it doesn't matter. Next, you have gavelkind. Now, gavelkind is kind of tricky sometimes. Gavelkind, it's a common law that's basically will split all titles between the heirs. Your oldest heir will get the primary title, and then the rest is split up. Now, all these have pluses and minuses to them. Elective, the plus is it's very stable. Your vassals are happy because they have a say in things and can vote on things. The negative to elective is you could get screwed on it. You can get undermined, somebody could vote against you, you could lose something. Gavelkind, the bad is everything gets split all to hell and really be frustrating and screw you up. The positives of the Gavelkind has some benefits is that you can have 30% more holdings, and you do not lose prestige if your adult children don't have land. You know how you always get those notifications sometimes if you have an adult son who wants a fief or whatever. With the Gavelkind, you don't get negatives for that. There's a lot of strategies to how you can make Gavelkind work that I've seen people talk about. Mainly is that if you only have one son, Gavelkind can be great because he'll just get everything. However, if you have two sons, one strategy is you could kill the younger son, and that way you get the benefits of the more holdings and not losing prestige and all that of Gavelkind. But you don't have to worry about everything getting split up. So that's Gavelkind. The next one is seniority. Seniority, under seniority, the oldest member of your dynasty will inherit. Now that's the oldest member of your dynasty. So how this is kind of weird is your child will not like it because you may have somebody else in your dynasty who is older and would inherit it and not your son, and so it's kind of a tricky one. The way seniority, from everything I've looked at, and I don't really mess with seniority that much on this, but the way seniority works is if you have a dynasty that has a lot of rulers, it can help you to start consolidating, because if you have a lot of different people in your dynasty, this guy holds this guy holds that, this guy holds that, you have 5 different, brothers and whatnot who all hold these different areas. Well, through dynasty, if one dies, there's a chance you can inherit a country because, your brother died or your uncle died in this other country, and boom, you get it because of the dynasty, or because of the seniority succession laws. So there is some ways that it works. Seniority is probably the one I'm the least clear on, but I do know that it can really screw you over sometimes. Okay, and then the last one is and seniority. One of the negatives about seniority is you have to have medium crown authority, which puts more pressure and negative impact towards your vassals. So if you're sitting in low crown authority for seniority, you have to bump up to medium. Now for primo is the last one. Primo is really good because it basically says that the oldest child of the ruler will inherit, period. He gets everything. If he's dead, then his oldest child will inherit everything. If there is no oldest child, then the second child of the ruler who died would inherit, and then his son, if he's dead, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. If there is no sons, if you have a king and you die and you didn't have any sons because your son died, a month before you died, then it will search and look at the father, brothers, uncles, things like that. Now the nice thing about primo is it always keeps it within your dynasty, so you will never lose everything. It will always stay to one person within your dynasty, and you will keep it. The negative to primo is you have to have high crown authority, which by going to high crown authority puts more pressure and negative impact towards your vassals, because it's basically saying, to all your vassals, hey, we don't care what any of you guys think, we don't care what any of you guys do, we don't care what any kind of bloodlines you guys have, doesn't matter. Whoever in our dynasty, is next gets it, period. We don't want to hear what you got to say about it. So that's kind of the negative towards primo. So that should cover everything. We have the 3 gender laws, but cognatic is generally the one you're going to stay with. And then you have the 4 succession laws. You have elective, which is good if you're well liked and everybody's on the same page. You have Gavelkind, which is good if you have very few children or one son, and you want to be able to hold a lot of land areas, and not have to worry about it all being split up between multiple heirs. You have seniority, which goes to the oldest member of your dynasty, so it keeps it in your dynasty, but it can be a little unwieldy as far as who that person actually is. It may not be your son, it may be somebody else. And then you have primo, which is good. It goes right to your oldest child, but you have to have some kind of high crown authority things that may piss off some of your vassals. So that is the layout of the laws. Now, very quickly before we end this video, I'm not going to make any decisions on this video. We'll save it for the next one. As you can see on Croatia, we're in good shape. On elective, like I discussed, you can see this number here. This shows that there's 3 people that have a vote, and all 3 agree that Lucas is the heir of Croatia. And if you hover over, you can see the people. You know, it's me, Ash, Mutimer, and Helena. If you go to Hungary, you can see we have it as seniority, and it just so happens with the seniority rule right now, Lucas still is the heir right at this point, which is fine, because we really, we could change it to elective if we wanted to, but we'd have to get rid of the guy that has a negative opinion of us, but right this second I'm not too worried about that. Serbia, on the other hand, is the problem one, and some of you were saying for me to nominate. I did. You can see right here Ash has nominated Lucas, but we have 2 other guys who are nominating this guy and 1 other guy who's nominating this guy. However, we have some choices that we can make for Serbia here. I can change it to Gavelkind or seniority, or I could change to High Crown Authority, and that would give me Primo as an option, because the only reason I don't have it right now is because I don't have High Crown Authority. So, that is a decision I'll make at the beginning of the next video. I will say, right now, I'm leaning towards either Gavelkind or going to High and then Primo. The reason I would go with Gavelkind in this case, possibly, is because Ash, we only have 2 sons. We have Lucas and we have Justin. If I'm not mistaken, if I was to switch to Gavelkind, Lucas is generally going to get everything anyway. The only thing that would happen is I think Justin would maybe get some of the counties, but the actual Kingdom of Serbia would pass to Lucas. So that would solve this. This would become Lucas then here, if I went to Gavelkind. And if I went to Primo, of course, it would go to Lucas. That would be a no-brainer immediately. But I'll try to make that decision on the next video, and you guys feel free to give your comments. I would not go seniority because I think that could cause some definite problems. I'm not really even sure what the hell would happen if I went to seniority. It could end up going to Bob or somebody. I'm not even really sure what would happen, to be honest. So I would either go Gavelkind or Primo. So there we go. If any of you have any questions, corrections to anything I said that was completely wrong, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. The next episode will be coming very shortly, and I have several things planned for the next episode that we're really going to start mapping out and moving towards some certain directions. But the first one will be setting the laws for Serbia. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.